We've got ourselves a big day in news today. If you are just tuning in, Russell Wilson has been traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos, and what's being called, without all the details haven't come in yet, one of the largest deals in NFL history. And earlier today, you got the largest deal in NFL history, if you believe the numbers. 4 years, $200 million. Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. The Jets, nothing. The Giants, nothing. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
This is fun.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
As opposed to worrying about the owners and players in baseball, we've got ourselves a Hot Stove Tuesday with the NFL in Major League, shattering news. If you think about it, the AFC West is now the best quarterback division in football, and you've now had one of the great players in the league stay put, one of the great players in the league on his way out.
Can we be selfish for a second?
Yeah, how come the Giants didn't do that deal?
Well, look, I think that was out the window for weeks and for months now. They're going in a different direction.
2 first-round draft picks. Come on, baby.
Nah, that was never happening. But what I thought of after this deal was announced was eventually, I'm not saying this upcoming year, but eventually you and I and everyone else who happens to root for the Jets would like to rationalize how they'll be able to compete for a Super Bowl. That's the hope. That's the goal in being a fan. And when you look around at the AFC, the conference the Jets reside in, dude, this is disgusting. This is
We're in trouble.
This is loaded with awesome quarterbacks. Like, if you're a Giant fan, you can at least rationalize, hey, when I look around, I see an aging Aaron Rodgers, I see Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, and that's it. When we look around, we see Patrick Mahomes, we see Justin Herbert, we see Joe Burrow, we see Josh Allen, we see Lamar Jackson. For now, we see Deshaun Watson. I mean, bro, it's exciting NFL news, but selfishly, as a Jet fan, the road to that dream of winning a Super Bowl, it just gets more complicated.
Yeah, we got screwed today. If you want to look at it that way, it made it harder for the Jets to win, but we're so far away. That's funny. That's not how I processed it today. I processed it like the NFL is king. Well, baseball flounders in a negotiation between the players and owners that may or may not get settled tonight. We may find out when you go to bed tonight that we've now lost the Yankee home opener in another week of the season. The NFL just keeps trucking along with good news and big news. And from that standpoint, all the other leagues should learn a lesson. Not that the NFL gets everything right. They don't. But the NFL just became the biggest story in America today. And it's not about a labor dispute. It's about two of the great players in a quarterback-driven league making news today. Now, let me start with Aaron Rodgers if I can, okay, Evan? Mm-hmm. I'm so happy this deal is done because I told you yesterday, I was growing tired of it.
Yeah.
I was growing tired of the Brett Favre, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Where does he want to go? It's about money. Every time they tell you it's not about money, it's about the money, and that never fails, that thought process right there, okay?
Right.
It is always about the money. He got if the deal's right. I know McAfee said it's not, but Rappaport's as good as it comes, as is Schefter when it comes to breaking deals like that. So I'll lean towards them. No disrespect to Pat. I'm sure he's talked to Aaron Rodgers, and maybe the way they did the deal's a little different than reported, but it doesn't matter. $50 million. 4 years, $200 million overall, is highest paid player in the history of the league. All of a sudden, Green Bay is a pretty good place to be. Have the Packers been good to him? Is he going to be happy now? I would hope so. He will end his career with the team he started it with.
Right.
And that is not often said.
Unlike
look
Brett
at
Favre.
Russell Wilson.
No,
look at Brett Favre.
I would look at Favre because that's the history that the Packer fans have of a guy who was an all-time great, a guy who got you one Super Bowl and then forced his way out. And it certainly felt, to me at least, I think you were more right about this in terms of it's all about the money, the money, the money. I thought he wanted out. I thought it was going to end the way it ended with Brett Favre. But now he's back, which means 3 more years of the Green Bay Packers losing brutal postseason games at home.
And listen, it also means they're going to be a pretty damn good football team, though.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they are still the team you got to beat.
In the regular season, they'll be fine.
No doubt.
Come January.
13-4, just lock it up right now. They're going to be a team that's going to be reckoned with for the next 4 years, barring injury, of course. I'm just so happy it's over with. And I'm jealous, to be honest. I'm not jealous because I'm worried about the Jets trying to win a Super Bowl, and now you've got another marquee quarterback in the AFC. I'm jealous because it seems like, and I think Giant fans will go with me on this one, I don't know, it seems like it's never us, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Yankee fan, you know exactly what the Broncos feel like today because it's always the Yankees historically. If you're a Met fan this particular offseason, getting a guy like Scherzer, you're like, I get it. But if you're a Jet fan and a Giant fan, and then tell me if I'm missing someone obvious, it just feels like...
there's one.
It feels like it's not us.
There's only one example. And you know it. And I think
Brett Favre?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but Brett Favre's 10 years ago already.
No, but that was
and
the only...
it didn't pan out.
Of course it didn't pan out.
8-3 until he got hurt, though.
It sucks. I mean, I think it reminds you the state of where we are. Like, while we may feel good about the direction of these franchises, they're not there yet. Like, when I even bring up how loaded the AFC is with quarterbacks, I'm not even talking about this year. It's more the next couple of years because the end game as a fan is that you build your team up enough to where they get to a point where they're a championship contender. I'm not suggesting the Jets are going to be there in 22, but the hope is, Craig, in 23 or 24 they are. So it's not even the immediacy of what this does to the Jets or what this does to the Giants. It's just a reminder we're not close. The Denver Broncos are now a team that's close.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah. Listen, you've seen this story with Denver before. That's how they won their last Super Bowl. They went out and got Peyton Manning when he could still play. Right? So that's their thing. That's what Elway does now. That's what, the fractured ownership there does now. Hey, wait for a guy getting out of a contract late in his career.
But this is better.
And let's try to go win.
You know why this is better? And I look,
because Russell Wilson's younger than Peyton, wasn't healthier.
Younger and not coming off a neck injury. You could see Russell Wilson quarterbacking the Broncos for the next 5 years, maybe even longer. That's a reasonable thought. So this isn't, I'm bringing in a veteran, I'm bringing in a 44-year-old Tom Brady, and we'll see what happens, or an aging Peyton Manning, we'll see what happens. You're bringing in a guy who's still in the prime of his career.
Yeah, listen, it changes everything. It does. It changes the entire landscape of the AFC. The NFC stays the same because Aaron Rodgers is staying put. So it's a known quantity. They're obviously going to franchise tag Adams and try to figure out a long-term deal with him at some point. But, yeah, the AFC just got tougher. Like, if you think of just about that one division out there with Herbert and Wilson alone.
And Mahomes.
Not to mention Patrick Mahomes.
Derek Carr's the worst quarterback in the division.
Like, that's crazy town. The AFC just became a lot harder to get through to get to a Super Bowl.
No doubt.
No, whereas the NFC, boy, I'm glad if I'm a New York Giant fan, I'm feeling pretty good. Not great. Good.
Well, the roadmap isn't as complicated. I mean, think about the best quarterbacks in the NFC right now after Aaron Rodgers.
The best quarterbacks in the NFC?
After Aaron Rodgers, who's clearly number one. It's Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray. Matt Ryan, okay? Yeah. Those are your guys. I mean, exactly.
The AFC West alone has that beat.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy talk. And then until Tom Brady comes back, and then the NFC will have some leg to stand on at that point.
Two senior citizens at 1 and 2.
Boy, I love it, though. A good job reporting, Rappaport and Schefter on that one.
So there were two names that have come out. Shelby Harris, the defensive lineman who's 30 years old, who's a solid veteran.
In regards to what?
Going back to Seattle in this trade.
Okay, go ahead.
Shelby Harris is one, Drew Lock is the other, and then there's going to be draft picks. But here's where my brain jumps, because my brain's jumped everywhere. First of all, poor Jamal Adams. How's he feeling? Wow. Couldn't wait to get away from the Jets. Didn't want to rebuild anymore. Didn't want to be on a losing team. Well, what do you think the Seahawks are going to be? That's number one. And number two, I want to take advantage of the situation. That's the way I look at it. DK Metcalf is a free agent at the end of next year.
Okay.
DK Metcalf has whom throwing him the football this season?
Great
if I'm
question.
the New York Jets, I'm calling them up right now, and maybe this is too much, so stop me if I'm going crazy.
Go ahead.
I offer one of my first-round picks.
I have no problem with that. He's got to resign. He's got to sign a long-term deal.
And I'm going to take care of him.
Okay. You want to give him a long-term deal and give him a first-round pick?
I want to build around
I'm good with
Zach Wilson, and why not a beast like DK Metcalf, who I don't know if Seattle's going to give a long-term contract to. Are they?
I don't even know if Pete Carroll's going to be back now that Russell Wilson's gone, right? So there's a lot of things that are now up in the air on that, but I like the way you're thinking.
Logic tells you they're going to rebuild. Now, when you bring back Shelby Harris, who's a 30-year-old defensive lineman, and we'll see what they do with the rest of their offseason, I guess they could rationalize, hey, let's try to compete anyway. That'd be a bad decision. We just talked about how lousy the quarterbacks are. The problem is that division actually has pretty good quarterbacks. That's the division with Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray, and we'll see about San Francisco. It may well be Tom Brady for all we know. But if they rebuild, if they say time to move on, I could give a rat's ass where Jamal Adams ends up, but I certainly care where DK Metcalf ends up. I
like it. We'll get all your take on it as well. We got baseball stuff later today. No rush. They're talking, so that's a good thing. But this new deadline that's been put in place to prevent you losing any games at all is real, and it comes up tonight. So we'll get to that later on. Right now, you're an NFL fan. Let's get into it. Russell Wilson has been traded to the Denver Broncos. Aaron Rodgers signs a 4-year, reportedly $200 million deal to stay in Green Bay. Lots cooking